The Straight Red Card is sponsored by Roughneck Scarves. Visit Roughneck Scarves for your supporters' gear from Seattle, Portland, New York, to the Philadelphia Union, and anything MLS to the English Premier League. Visit Roughneck Scarves at roughneckscarves.com.
Still, when I look around, regardless of whether Benny makes it, but when I look around the league so far this year, and I've watched a lot of games, I'm about to watch another one here, and I'm sure you guys are here as well. The overall quality of a lot of the play seems to be really on the up. And I know that because my wife, who is not a soccer expert, has watched games this year and said, wow, this kind of looks a little different than it used to a couple years ago when I watched these games. And you don't even have to be an expert to see that the quality is up. Yet, however, on the other hand, there have been some teams that I think Chivas would be one of them, and maybe there are a few others, where the quality has actually in some ways gone down. We're seeing it go up maybe when you're looking at the Red Bulls and other teams, and you're seeing it go down when you're looking at Chivas, and even Dallas has been really not very good this year compared to last.
They've been up and down, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's breaking my heart, I tell you.
Well, yeah, I'm sure it is. Yeah.
I'm down here.
I'm sure it is. But would you agree with that assessment that we're actually some of these games we're watching we're seeing some really high quality soccer? I mean, okay, it's not La Liga. No, it's not some of the best teams in the Premier League, but it's still a lot better to watch. It's a watchable game.
Right. I agree. I've always felt like the way to look at MLS is the way Sean Wheelock mentioned once on the World Football Phone-In, is that the way to look at MLS is as, in NCAA basketball terms, a mid-major, right? And that you're not the ACC,
right?
And you're not you're not the Southland Conference, but you're right in there. You've got these Butlers, and Gonzagas, and and the analogy doesn't stay forever, but when you look at it in relation to other leagues around the world, it's MLS is obviously a much better place than it was 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And the emphasis on tactics alone is fascinating to see how it keeps getting better and better. That not to continue to join the love train here that heads into Salt Lake because of their Champions League run, but
right.
I have to say that, boy, is that a fun team to watch.
Yeah, absolutely.
They really are fun to watch.
Yeah.
And as long as it's not your team they're beating, or playing against, I do enjoy watching them play. And
I hope they crush Monterrery. Yeah.
Oh, I do too. I really have no sympathy at all for Monterrey because they came in here from a Houston perspective. They came in here a year or two ago for the Dynamo have a Charities Cup friendly that benefits their local charity arms, and they were here for the first one, and it was great. It was great right up until that whistle blew, and that was one of the most physical hacking experiences I think I'd ever seen Dynamo play.
Yeah.
And it was, and no, not Dynamo, but what Monterrey came in with,
Right.
And Corey Ash suffered an injury that put him out for a month in that game in a charity friendly,
Hackfest.
And I mean, I understand that you've got fans all over and you want to do well in front of them, but please, how hard are you trying to go into this?
Right.
And it's no surprise to me at all that one of their players is Julio Divino because I remember when he was in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
And he was awful. He was a real hacking sort of player.
Right.
Well,
and that's the criticism, obviously, of the Mexican League. A lot of the times is that, when teams start to lose, they start to hack, and it gets real ugly. Mexican soccer can get really ugly real fast. But at the same time, you have to be so excited that we're going to leg 2 against Monterrey if you're RSL and you're an MLS fan and you're a fan of the league's growth. It's exciting because this is a real possibility for us to get into the club world championships and make a dent and show the world, hey, MLS is not a joke. We're here. We're for real.
I absolutely agree.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree. I think that coming down twice, a goal down, right, was exactly what they needed. And then to get those 2 away goals, and then to come home to Rio Tinto, because Rio Tinto is going to be sold out.
Yes.
Yeah.
It
guaranteed
for that return leg.
Oh yeah.
And they're going to be good. But the only problem I can see for them going into that, or one of the problems, other than just the problems that Monterrey presents, because Humberto Suazo is nobody to take lightly.
Right.
But it's the fact that Beckerman won't be there for that game.
That was
he drew
tough.
that yellow.
That was a bogus yellow too. It was not a real
yes,
yellow.
It was
Phantom.
It goes. That guy glues together the midfield for that squad, and they are really going to miss him. Now, that being said, they get to train for a week without him. They don't have to play, the game in between because that game got moved. And really, props to MLS for doing that.
Yep.
That was obviously the right move. And if you have to pick really any team in the league that can compensate for the loss of a key player, it would have to be RSL.
Yeah, but can we underestimate how important Kyle Woolly Mammoth Head Beckerman is? I mean, the guy is, he's one of the most understated guys. Yeah, he's got that big flowing hair, but in the end,
that's about the only flamboyant thing about him.
I don't know how flowing that hair actually is.
You're right, it's not flowing.
Right.
It's all stuck together in mats, but you get the point. I mean, the fact is, he's an understated guy for the most part. He's not out there. I mean, that's the only thing, as you said, Martin, that's stands out about him, because you really, unless you're watching the game and you really understand soccer, sometimes it's hard to notice how key Kyle Beckerman is to that team. So, is it something they can overcome?
Well, I think they can, but I remember I finally got sold on Beckerman when RSL was here. I think it was the year they won. But in the middle of the year, they weren't playing quite so well, and because they barely qualified for the playoffs, if I'm remembering right.
For a while there, they were. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no! I think that I don't remember where they were. I think they were an 8th seed, weren't they? And but they came in here, and Dynamo had a 3-0 lead on them at the half, and then in the second half, RSL scored twice quickly, and suddenly you're looking at, from a blowout of a team you expect to blow out, suddenly you're fighting. Right. And RSL actually came back. I believe they equalized, and then Dynamo scored a winner soon after that. But I remember walking out of that stadium, just feeling like, thank God that game was only 90 minutes long, because you knew that there were more goals coming.
Yeah. And I think it's the genuine. I mean, when you watch RSL play and you watch the fact all these little tiny passes they make, these triangle passes to one another, it's something that very few MLS teams, maybe none, do in that manner, and it really reminds you of something you might see somewhere else, but not in the MLS.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, obviously, the comparison that everyone draws now is with Barcelona.
Yeah.
And the Spanish national team, which is basically Barcelona without Messi. And and that was, with no disrespect intended to Xabi Alonso and Sergio Trophy Dropper Ramos. You see that?
Yeah.
Who didn't see that? That was fabulous. Yeah. But yeah, that's a moment of the year right there.
Yeah.
What I was going to say earlier about Real Salt Lake is that year that they barely scraped in and ended up winning the MLS Cup is that year, and prior years is they had a stellar home record, but they sucked away. Mm-hmm. And obviously that's changed, but that's what that was. I mean, they had really nice.
Well, they were playing at Rice Eccles.
Yeah.
Right, that's when they were playing right, which was basically a runway painted green.
Right.
That was That was an amazingly awful place. It was like Saprissa Stadium used to be when Dynamo played down in Saprissa
A wonderful
Stadium.
home field advantage, put it that way.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, But and you know what? And I think a lot of this has to, everyone, again, here's the love train for Jason Kreis, But holy moly, you cannot, I think, overstate the value of what he's been able to do over there. And as far as the style of play and the way he's got them prepared and for each and every game.
Yeah.
And when they went to play, what was it, a couple weeks ago, when they had basically their reserve team playing New England. Was it New England they were playing? And they blew them out.
Mm-hmm.
That was after the Saprissa game.
Mm-hmm.
And it was and it was impressive. It was clearly that style of play. He's got everyone knows their role. And
thanks for coming on the show and joining us. And best of luck to Houston for the rest of the year, and keep up the great coverage down there.
Well, that's Jose de Jesus Ortiz. He has been fabulous as the beat writer covering Dynamo for the Chronicle. Thanks a lot, gentlemen.
All right. Have a great night, Martin.